why did people say Growing Kids God's Way was cult-like? Okay, this was a claim that comes up again and again in kind of the critiques. And I think some of this has to do with the way it divided communities and churches. And some of it has to do with the high control nature of the teaching itself. As we see with other high control Christian parenting groups that are very prescriptive. So Gothard's IBLP, Doug Wilson's Canon Press materials, there is really an insider-outsider mentality that springs up around these communities where people are like, we have got the correct way to do it. We are very confident in that. We love the figureheads of this. We love the leaders. We're attached to them in various ways. You'll see this in early defenders of Gothard because tons of people spoke out against Gothard when he was around in the 70s and 80s. There were Christian leaders warning against him despite his popularity. Just like tons of people speak out against Doug Wilson today, the people on the inside perceive any critique as personal attack. They will either ascribe it to Satan and say this is the enemy trying to take down a good work and a good man, or they will see it as a personal attack of the leader. And they will often come to extraordinary defense of these leaders, even when they have documented character concerns, right? Gothard, there was a lot of questionable decisions of integrity early on in his ministry with his brother, with himself, with financial funds and other things. But people want to perceive the figurehead as a godly man who is almost untouchable. Similar to Wilson, right? There are a lot of documented concerns with the tone of his teaching, with the way he teaches, with his mishandling of allegations of sexual abuse, with his response toward a known pedophile, a number of different concerns that are well documented, but people will come to his defense. The leader can kind of do no wrong, even when there are receipts showing that they've done wrong. So similar to Gary Ezzo here, I mean, it's pretty remarkable that from the beginning, one church had already said, this person is not qualified. They're authoritarian, they're divisive, this person is a problem. But he still found leadership at Grace Church. And then even after MacArthur said, no, he is unfit for pastoral leadership, he found another pastoral position. You could theorize about why that is, but I think it really speaks to the kind of charisma some of these parenting experts had that really had a hold on people, that kind of hijacked critical thinking, created a loyalty and buy-in that was pretty difficult to chip away at. And then it really led to division, which is what all of Gary's critics in the three churches noted, because when someone would raise concerns, it was kind of either Gary or them. Like there was no middle ground or place for conversation or questioning. And so you see people leaving churches that issued cautions over Growing Kids God's Way because they're so committed to this parenting methodology. Secondly, there was such an insularity to families that followed this. And some of that was because of the typical high control parenting philosophies, concerns and warning about external influences. The things like the parent coaching really led to a peer reinforcement that I think kept people in that kind of like closed and isolated mindset.
Hi, I'm Marissa Franksburt, and along with my co-author Kelsey Kramer McGinnis, we talk about this topic and more in our forthcoming book, The Myth of Good Christian Parenting: How False Promises Betrayed a Generation of Evangelical Families. You can pre-order it everywhere now.